Alright, hello everyone, this is Ethan, and as you can see, I'm going to be doing my first LP on Dungeons & Dredmor. As you can see, the main character has freaking crazy eyebrows. As I stated in the topic, this is a roguelike, and Realms of the Diggle Gods is the DLC for it. Anywho, new game. I'm going to start off on the easy difficulty, permadeath of course, and yeah, I think I'll keep the floors the same size. Onward! Now we choose our skills, seeing as I'm playing as Mike. Alright, well I should explain the skills. These right here, swords, axes, maces, staves, archery, throwing weapons, and unarmed combat are all the combat skills. When you pick one, with the exception of unarmed combat, you start off with a weapon of that type. Unarmed combat, you just start off with a headgear that kind of increases your abilities with your fists. This is dual wielding. It allows you to use two weapons in each a weapon in each hand, and without it, you're a clumsy oaf. This is shield bearer. It increases the abilities while using shields. I don't know if it stacks with orbs and tomes. Probably not. This is Berserker Rage. It is actually a pretty fun ability now that I've maxed it out with Piracy, but that is neither here nor there. Artful Dodger is one of the defensive skills. It's instead of taking the blows and reducing damage, it actually dodge and not take the damage at all. Master of Arms is using armor better, it reduces the damage you take, and the one skill I remember seeing, it buffs your defenses for a few hits. Vampirism. This is a really hard to use skill. I've been using it on Ruthie. You need to level it up immediately to have any kind of healing, because food will not work. And I'm reluctant to level it up more for Twilight Sparkles. Golemancy, one of the many magic styles. This one you create golems using the power of magic. I haven't actually dabbled in magic too much, so these will be brief. Fleshmithing. I think this uses items like ground beef and cube of flesh to cast spells, but I'm not certain. Mathemagic, or however you pronounce it. This looked complicated on the wiki, and I'm pretty sure it is. Mike might like this skill set, but I'm not using it. Psionics, so bald. Apparently this is full of support skills. I haven't seen it. Necronomiconomics, or however you pronounce it. It's just like necromancy, only it's kind of complicated like Mathemagic. Viking Wizardry, yes! I think this largely has to do with lightning and possibly other Norse type spells. I've no real idea. Astrology, I didn't really look into it too much. It's another magic style. Promethean Magic is possibly the best of the magics. All its skills are damaging, but the only problem is you can hurt yourself pretty badly as well. Magic training, it's kind of like the scrub magic. You get some basic spells, and I think you get Magic Missile. Blood Mage, I hadn't actually gone through it all that much, but combined with Vampirism, you kill stuff, you get your MP and your HP back. Ley Walker is, from what I see, teleportation magic. Now onto the rogue skills. Perception. Perception is great. Not only can you see traps easier, you also can see more of the map, because in this game there's a sort of fog of war. Burglary, it helps because not only does the first level skill you get lets you spawn pick locks, but just having the skill itself lets you steal one item from vending machines. Assassination, I hadn't actually really gone into this. Apparently it's a Vince skill. Fungal Arts. This is using the power of mushrooms and you can spawn slimes. Alchemy is one of the 4 crafting abilities. This lets you make potions and alcohol. Wandalore is the second of the crafting skills. This lets you make staves and wands. Next is Archaeology, which I can never spell. It's pretty much Indiana Jones's skill set. The first level skill you get lets you exchange artifacts for experience, and eventually you can recharge Anvils of Krong. I'll get into Anvils of Krong later on. Smithing lets you make armor and weapons using metals and I think occasionally plastic. And I think it also has to do with ingot crafting. Tinkering lets you make traps, machines, and some weapons, mostly crossbows. And I believe we are going on to the DLC skill sets now. Big Game Hunter, it gives you big rewards for killing animal type monsters. Emomancy I heard was a... Shut the door. Emomancy I heard was another support skill set like Psionics. Werediggle Curse, the bonuses you get from this set only apply to your Werediggle form. And yeah, you can transform into a Werediggle. I hadn't actually gone into any of the DLC skills. Killer Vegan is like Big Game Hunter, only you get bonuses for killing vegetables and you actually get debuffs for killing animals. Piracy is another one I hadn't actually looked into, but I really should check out these DLC skills eventually. Demonologist, the first 2 skills actually increase your radiance or righteousness defense, but the rest of them decrease it. And this combined with Vampirism can actually make you really, really weak to righteous damage. Anyhow, now that I've explained all the skills, let's pick Mike's skills. I'm going to grab all the crafting skills from him: Artful Dodger, Perception, and Burglary. Oh yes, and this rolls a random set of skills for your character if you don't really know what you want to use, or if you're lazy, or if you want to get that achievement. Last choice uses the same skills as you did with the last hero you played as. So probably using this I would load up Ruthie's skill set, but I want to use the skills that I've picked for Mike. Now we name our hero, which is Mike, and we choose which gender of hero we want to use. Generic McEyebrows or Ruthie McEyebrows. Yes. Alright. So continuing along, please bear with me on loading times because it freezes sometimes. In ages long past, great heroes bound the Dark Lord Dredmor in the depths of the earth that is evil would never trouble the land nevermore. Alas, the foul-lich Dredmor proved more devious and patient, for he has been loosening his magical bonds, slowly freeing himself to again spread his evil in the world of light. He must be stopped. Again. Once more, it is a time of adventure, of glory. It is time for a hero. Unfortunately, this hero is Mike. You have been summoned by the king to prove yourself, to save the land and its people, to join the heroes of legend in victory over the dungeons of Dredmor. And now we start the game itself. This right here is your map. You can make it smaller or you can make it bigger. I like to keep it this size. You can move by using the WASD keys or the directional keys. You can also move by clicking a space with your mouse, as you see here. Pressing M will bring up, pressing M or escape will bring up the menu bar. You can adjust stuff. Oh, I didn't even know there was an auto loop. Oh well. Since this is permadeath, we get the options of just quit and save and quit. There is no save and continue, which is in the normal game, and the normal game doesn't have quit. Return to the game. Pressing C will bring up your character sheet. This is your equipment slots: helmets, necklaces, weapons, armor, chest armor, belts, leg armor, shoes, 2 ring slots, gloves, and a crossbow. This is your level. This is the various damages you would do with your melee and ranged attacks. And these stats right here are your main stats: Burlesque, Sagacity, Nimbleness, Cattishness, Savvy, and Stubbornness. These are increased according to what skills you have of each of the 3 types of skills. I don't remember exactly how they go up, but as you learn a skill at level up, your skill bar will increase. Like, say if I level up smithing next level up, Mike would have two pibs in the warrior, just the one he has. Now, to the right of the main stats are the secondary stats: melee power, critical chance, counter chance, magic power, haywire chance, which is like magic critical, magic resistance, armor absorption, which is kinda like defense in normal games, block chance, which is like reducing damage, dodge chance, which is dodging it completely, enemy dodge reduction, which is accuracy, sneakiness, which has to do with avoiding traps and not waking up sleeping enemies. Visual sight radius is really important because having low of this will cut your sight down, cut what you can see down pretty severely. Trap sight radius, this determines how far away you can be before you see a trap. Trap affinity is how good you are at avoiding and disarming traps. And these last ones are your wand crafting, smithing, alchemy, and tinkerer levels, which determines what you can make the crafting items. This is your life, this is your mana, and these are your regenerations for life and mana. Pressing K will open up your skill tome. You can see what skills you can learn and how long it would take to master one. Also, each major skill would increase your warrior, rogue, and wizard, but each individual skill also increases stats. Like, getting a keto for adventurers would increase your nimbleness. Getting Ingateer would increase your burliness, trap affinity, and smithing level. It's different for everything. Alright, moving on. Press 2 shows you the quests you get from the goddess Inconsequentia. I'll get to that when we actually find a statue. Pressing I opens your inventory. It always opens up cockeyed like this for me, but pressing sort will sort your items according to type. Alright, I should explain what I'm doing. Holding shift and clicking on the items over here will return them directly to your inventory or drop them on the ground. Right-clicking items has you consume them immediately. Or in the case of wands, crossbow bolts and throwing weapons, it readies them down here. So you may use them by right-clicking a square in the map. What I like to do is put my wand and ranged weapons over here, and just keep my food and other stuff over here. Like I said before, choosing skills determines on what you start with. Since I chose a bunch of crafting skills, I got all the crafting items. This is the anvil. It lets you craft ingots into equipment. As you can see, there's a lot. Alright. This is the Alchemy set. It lets you turn items and potions into other potions. This lets you turn foods and alcohol into other alcohol. It's the portastill. The ingot presser lets you turn raw materials into ingots. As you can see. I'm turning the plastic ore into plastic ingots. And you can then use the ingots to create items. Also, you can use the ingot press to make some foods. The ingot grinder lets you turn materials into powders and meats and cheeses. Well, ground meat and ground cheese. Or grated cheese, as I think it's called. Aged steak isn't that good. Aged steak alright, I should get back into the healing after I show you guys all the stuff. Tinkering lets you make machine parts and crossbows and crossbow bolts, which I think I'll actually use my mass amounts of ingots to make plastic bolts, which are kinda useless, but ranged damage helps a lot. And these are explosives, which can be thrown weapons. These are traps, which you can lay down to cause bad stuff to happen to other enemies. And there are a few rare items, rare melee weapons you can actually make. Like using the voltaic cell, the copper wire, and a steel sword, you can make a blue steel sword. More crossbow bolts, and this is the dimensional lathe, which lets you turn burned wands and materials into working magic wands. On to healing. Foods have a healing value, but when you use them, they, instead of healing you all at once, they increase your health regeneration for that many turns. So this would increase my health regeneration for 10 turns. Same thing with alcohol. It increases your mana regeneration by so many turns. Sewer brew would increase it for 6 turns. These are gemstones, which are materials. Alcohol, which are also materials. Even though it says potion, not all potions are good. Aqua Vitae and Aqua Regia, these cause acid burn and alcohol poisoning. Aluminum ingot, and that's pretty much all we need to know for now. Alright. As we can see, there's 2 vending machines, and since Mike has burglary, we steal an item, and that item is missing. And we shall steal a drink vendor, and now we have some alcohol. And I think I'll stop here for now, because I don't want this to get too big that I can't upload it. So, save and quit. And I'll see you all next time, which may be tonight or some other night. Adios!